In today's Reddit story, my girlfriend called me Plan B while flirting with a richer man. She smirked. "Don't be pathetic. You know you could never pull someone like me anyway." She thought I was clueless until I heard every word and started planning the perfect revenge. She had no idea her world was about to collapse. I've always been the type to give people the benefit of the doubt. Maybe that's why I didn't see it sooner. Or maybe, deep down, I didn't want to. Her name's Alicia. And for the past year, I thought she was the one. She had that effortless charm, the kind of laugh that could turn heads in a crowded room. And for a while, she made me feel like the luckiest guy alive. Until one night changed everything. Alicia and I were at a high-profile networking gala. One of those events where everyone dresses a little too fancy, sips overpriced cocktails, and pretends they're more important than they really are. She had insisted we go. "It's an exclusive guest list, Logan. A real opportunity for you to connect with the right people." That should have been my first clue. Because, looking back, she didn't care about me making connections. She was hunting for something better. At first, the night seemed normal. Alicia looked stunning in a sleek black dress, clinging to my arm like she was proud to be with me. We mingled, made small talk, and for a brief moment, I let myself believe everything was fine. Then I saw him. Marcus Hale. Older, filthy rich, and known for collecting young, pretty women the way some people collect sports cars. And Alicia was laser-focused on him. I watched as her grip on my arm loosened. Watched as she slipped away, making her way toward Marcus with the kind of excitement she hadn't shown for me in months. I followed, keeping my distance, pretending not to notice. That's when I heard it. Her voice, low and teasing, dripping with calculated charm. "I swear, Marcus, men these days just don't know how to handle a woman like me." Then came his laugh, deep and amused. "Oh yeah? And what about your boyfriend over there?" I saw her glance back at me, saw the way her lips curled into a smirk. Then she said it. "Oh, Logan, please, he's just Plan B." I felt something inside me snap. Plan B? Plan. Fricking B? I should have marched over there, caused a scene, called her out on the spot. But instead, I smiled. Because, in that moment, I realized something. She thought I was dumb. She thought I was just some disposable stepping stone. And she had no idea that she had just sealed her own fate. I turned on my heel, walked away, and pulled out my phone. Because if she wanted to trade up, I was about to make sure she lost everything instead. I walked out of that ballroom feeling lighter. Not because I wasn't pissed, oh I was, but because for the first time, I saw Alicia exactly for what she was. She wasn't my girlfriend. She was a social climber in designer heels. And if she wanted to play games, she had no idea I was about to outplay her completely. Here's where things get interesting. I actually knew Marcus Hale. Not personally, but through business. I worked in investment strategy, and Marcus? He was a high-profile venture capitalist. Our circles overlapped, but he had no idea I was Alicia's boyfriend. But he was about to. I found him near the VIP section, still nursing the whiskey he'd been swirling while Alicia flirted with him. He glanced up as I approached, recognition flickering in his eyes. "Logan, right? From Eastwood Holdings?" "That's me. Got a minute?" He raised an eyebrow but nodded, intrigued. I took a seat across from him, leaned in slightly, and dropped the bomb. "You might find this interesting. Your new admirer? She's actually my girlfriend." Marcus blinked. Then, he laughed. "Wait, Alicia? That was your girl?" "Was." I let the word hang there. "She just called me her Plan B while trying to cozy up to you." Marcus took a slow sip of his drink, considering this. Then he smirked. "And what exactly do you want me to do with this information?" I smiled. "I want you to let her think she's winning." He exhaled a short chuckle. "Go on." So I laid it out. We would let Alicia believe she was trading up, let her lean into her gold-digging instincts, thinking she was about to secure a wealthy new man. And then, we would pull the rug out from under her, publicly, brutally, and in a way she would never recover from. Marcus listened, amused but interested. Then, after a long pause, he grinned. "You know what? I like your style, kid." We clinked glasses, sealing the deal. Alicia wanted a high society upgrade. She was about to get one. Just not the way she imagined. Alicia had no clue that the man she was trying to upgrade to had already teamed up with me. That was the best part. She thought she was winning. She thought she was finessing her way into a richer, better life. And I I was letting her dig her own grave one step at a time. Over the next few days, I did something completely unexpected. I pulled back. No arguments, no questions, no passive-aggressive comments. Instead, I acted supportive. I started being too busy for date nights. I stopped asking about her plans. When she mentioned Marcus in passing, I just smiled and nodded. And Alicia, she took the bait instantly. Her texts became shorter, her tone became casual, almost dismissive. Then one night, she pulled the final move I was waiting for. She came home late, dropped her purse on the counter, and sighed dramatically. "Babe, I've been thinking a lot about us." "Here it comes," I turned to her, feigning concern. "Yeah?" She bit her lip, pretending to be conflicted. "I just feel like we've grown apart. I don't want to hurt you, but I think we should take a break." I almost laughed in her face. Instead, I ran a hand through my hair, sighing like I was actually heartbroken. "I get it. If that's what you want, I won't stop you." Her eyes lit up for half a second. That's how I knew. She thought she was free. The next morning, she left for work with a little too much excitement. I could tell she thought she was walking into a new life. One where Marcus Hale would sweep her off her feet and make her one of his spoiled little accessories. And I made sure she got exactly what she deserved. That weekend, Marcus invited her to an elite dinner party, a gathering of real high society figures, business moguls, and investors. Alicia was buzzing. She picked out a $1,500 dress she definitely couldn't afford, spent hours getting ready, and posted a cryptic Instagram story with the caption, "New beginnings." She thought she was leveling up. She had no idea this party was about to be the beginning of her end. Alicia walked into that elite dinner party thinking she had finally made it. She was draped in a dress she could barely afford, hair perfect, makeup flawless, ready to charm her way into high society. And I was already inside, waiting to watch her fall. The venue was a penthouse ballroom, glimmering chandeliers, crisp tuxedos, waiters carrying trays of champagne. Marcus had invited the wealthiest investors, CEOs, and socialites. These weren't the kind of people Alicia could impress with a pretty smile and a fake laugh. But she didn't know that yet. When she walked in, Marcus greeted her like a gentleman, kissed her hand, complimented her dress, whispered something that made her giggle. She probably thought, "This is it. This is the moment I step into my new life." Meanwhile, I was in the corner watching, waiting, because she had no clue what was about to happen. For the first half of the evening, Marcus kept the act going. He introduced Alicia to high-profile guests, let her soak up the attention, even poured her a glass of vintage champagne. She ate it up. I could see it in her eyes. She thought she was unstoppable. Then, the real show began. Marcus led her to a small group of powerful women, the kind who married billionaires, ran companies, and could see through a gold digger in 5 seconds. One of them, Victoria Stanton, looked Alicia up and down with a polite but chilly smile. "So Alicia, what do you do?" Alicia flipped her hair, smiling. "Oh, I'm just figuring things out right now." Victoria arched a perfectly sculpted eyebrow. "I see. And how do you and Marcus know each other?" Marcus, playing his role flawlessly, placed a hand on Alicia's back. "Oh, we met recently. She's very determined." The way he said it made the women exchange knowing glances. Alicia, still thinking she had control of the situation, giggled and leaned into Marcus. That's when he dropped the first bomb. "Actually, Alicia just left her Plan B boyfriend for me." Alicia froze. The women perked up immediately. "Victoria, Plan B?" Marcus chuckled, taking a sip of his drink. "Yeah, she told me she had a backup boyfriend while she looked for someone better." Dead. Freaking. Silence. Alicia's face drained of color. She opened her mouth to protest, but Marcus wasn't done. "You know, I actually met her Plan B. Great guy. Real shame." Then he turned to Alicia, voice mocking but smooth. "Oh, what was it you said about him? That he could never pull someone like you?" The women gasped. One of them whispered to another. "Victoria?" Smirking now. "Well, isn't that charming?" Alicia stumbled over her words. That's not. Marcus, why would you say that?" She was spiraling. She could feel the room turning on her. Marcus leaned back, sipping his drink. Then he waved a waiter over. "You know what? I think I've had enough company for one evening. Why don't you make sure Miss Alicia gets a ride home?" Alicia's eyes went wide. "Wait, Marcus, no." He turned away, completely dismissing her. The ultimate insult. She wasn't moving up. She was being escorted out, in front of everyone. And as she stood there, humiliated, desperate, completely out of her depth, that's when she finally saw me, standing near the bar, watching, smiling, because she finally understood she hadn't just lost Marcus, she had lost everything. Alicia stood there, frozen, her carefully built illusion shattering around her. The conversation had turned against her. The women whispered. The men looked bored. Marcus had already moved on. She wasn't just rejected, she was irrelevant. And then, she locked eyes with me. I watched the realization hit her like a truck. Her pupils shrank, her shoulders tensed, her mouth opened slightly like she wanted to say something. But what could she even say? She had spent the night flirting with another man in front of me, called me Plan B, told Marcus I could never pull someone like her. And now, she was standing there, humiliated, alone, and visibly unraveling. I took a slow sip of my drink and tilted my head, waiting. Alicia wasn't the type to accept defeat easily. She inhaled sharply, smoothed her dress, and forced a smile. Then she walked straight toward me. "Logan, can we talk?" Her voice was soft, almost pleading. I raised an eyebrow. "Oh, I thought I was just Plan B." She flinched. "That's not." "I didn't mean," I smiled. "Oh, you meant it? Don't worry." Her eyes flicked around the room. She could feel people watching. Her face was going pale. "Can we just go somewhere private, please?" I pretended to think about it. Nah. Her jaw clenched. "Logan, please, I got caught up in the moment, that's all. I was trying to make connections, but I wasn't serious about Marcus." I let out a sharp laugh. "Right. That's why you called me pathetic while flirting with him?" She looked like she wanted to sink into the floor. "I didn't mean that." "Sure you did. And now, I mean this." I leaned in slightly, just enough for her to hear. "We're done." Her lip trembled. "You don't mean that," I smirked. "Oh, I do. And unlike you, Alicia, I don't settle for less." Then I turned around and walked away. I didn't wait to hear her response. Didn't need to. I knew exactly what was happening behind me, her panic rising, her fake confidence crumbling, her reality sinking in. She had lost everything. And the best part? No one cared. Alicia had spent her whole life believing she could do no wrong, that she could step on people, trade them out like old shoes, and always land on her feet. But this time, she fell, and no one was there to catch her. I didn't look back when I left the party, but I didn't have to. The damage was already done. She had been publicly humiliated, dismissed, and tossed aside by the very people she had tried to impress. By the time I got home, I had 3 missed calls and 7 texts, all from Alicia. "Logan, please, I need to talk to you. I made a mistake, okay? I'm sorry. You're really gonna throw everything away over one dumb moment?" I stared at my phone. Then, I turned it off. Let her stew in it, because this wasn't my problem anymore. Over the next week, word spread. I never had to say a thing. Marcus's circle talked for me. And Alicia? She went from aspiring socialite to walking joke in record time. People stopped inviting her out. Her connections stopped returning her calls. Her friends, even they distanced themselves, because no one wants to be associated with a desperate, exposed gold digger. She tried one last Hail Mary, a cryptic Instagram post. Some people just can't handle a strong woman. No one cared. No likes, no comments, no engagement. Her world, silent. She had played herself. And now, she had nothing left. It had been a month since Alicia's world collapsed. Since she went from networking queen to social reject. Since she lost Marcus, me, and every ounce of status she thought she had. And now, she was about to make her last desperate move. One night as I was kicking back with a drink, my phone buzzed. I glanced at the screen. Alicia. I smirked. Of course, she had burned through every other option. Now she was coming back to the one person who actually gave a damn about her once. I opened the text. "Hey, can we talk?" I let the message sit there for a minute. Then another. Then 5. I knew she was watching, waiting, hoping I'd give her a chance to explain. But here's the thing. I didn't need an explanation. I already knew exactly who she was. She wasn't sorry she hurt me. She wasn't sorry for calling me Plan B. She wasn't sorry for chasing money instead of loyalty. She was only sorry because it didn't work out. I exhaled slowly, took a sip of my drink, and smiled. Then, I deleted the message. Didn't reply, didn't engage, didn't give her a single damn thing. Then, for good measure, I blocked her number. Just like that, she was erased. Because she was never my Plan A. And now she was nobody's.